My son Mark I got married February 7th. My son Mark was born January 6th. And he weighed 7 pounds, 12 ounces. He was 22 inches long. And he was a beautiful baby. And I never had a baby before him. And him and I went downtown to Woolworths, to pick up extra little bottles and stuff. And I'm standing there and I'm in pain and I'm all doubled over. And this lady said to me, "Are you all right?" She didn't know I was pregnant because I had my back to her. And I turned around, she said to me, "I think you're in labor." And I said, "Oh, okay." So anyway, we went up to the hospital. Now, every time I would visit in the hospital, they would come over with a wheelchair because I gained 75 pounds. The night that I went, I had on like a fur coat. Nobody was around. Nobody came with a wheelchair. It looked like a big bear standing there. So anyway, they take me in the room and they give me the lovely Johnny coat. And you said descriptive. I said to the nurse, "I think I have to go to the bathroom." She said, "No, you don't." I said, "Yes, I do." "Well, my water broke." I said, "I told you I had to go." So the lady next to me is crying and screaming. And I said to the nurse, "What's wrong with her?" She said she's having a baby. I said, "I want to go home. I don't want to do that." So anyway, I had Mark, and I woke up the next day, and like now, you know, you go through regular birth. I didn't want that, knock me out, you know, give me a shot. And they didn't bring Daddy in, and I got nervous, and they took me down to, he had a lot of mucus, so they had to get that up. So then they brought him in later that night, and his hands were covered. And I said, "Oh my God, he doesn't have any fingers," but he was scratching his face. And that was it. My beautiful little boy was born. Mark Anthony Misurale.
How long were you in labor for? With my dad.
Gee, with Daddy, I went up, I'd say maybe 9 o'clock at night, and Daddy was born at 3. Anthony was born at 3:54. Daddy was born at 3:55. So 5 hours.
Did you
Not
cry?
bad.
Did you cry a lot because it was painful? Like,
No, yeah, before, but then they put you to sleep. It's not like it is
So you had a
today.
C-section?
No.
They put you to sleep?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And that was that. And then I had Anthony, and I had Anthony in the cradle. And I brought Anthony home from the hospital, and I said to Daddy, he said, "What's that?" I said, "That's your brother." He said, "Bring him home." I will bring him back. I want a horse.
Okay.
So we kept him, never got a horse. And Anthony was in the cradle, and I used to say to Daddy, "Go in and rock him." And I used to hear this bang, bang, bang. Daddy would be rocking the cradle, was hitting the wall, but Anthony liked it. He never cried, you know.
So go back to when you had my dad, so explain the day you brought him back from the home from the hospital.
The day I brought him home from the hospital?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it was different then. They bring you to the car in a wheelchair. You didn't have to have a car seat or nothing. You get in the car and they just put him in your arms. And I brought him home, climbed up 3 flights of stairs, and Daddy was a good baby. Here's Mark naked, taking a bath. This is it when he was in the drum corps. And another picture. Oh, here's when he was in the parade. This is when I was toilet training him. He's trying to pull his pants up over his other pants. Let me see. Oh, here he is here in the parade. I remember Mark was trying to separate frozen peas from my mother, and he cut his thumb really bad. And I was at work, and they called and said to go up to the emergency that Mark was up there. And it was bad. I guess he cut the tendons and everything. And the doctor said he'll never use his thumb, and Mark did exercises every single day, and now he could use his thumb. And then what else happened? He was always getting hurt, you know. And then he had cars, they were always registered in my name. And he had several accidents, and you know, they'd come after me all the time. And I have pictures of him. He had a van, and he was out with Stevie Courtwright and somebody else. And of course, the van was in my name. And Mark called me and said, "Oh, Mom," he said, "the van caught on fire." I said, "Well, it could be fixed." He said, "You don't understand, it caught on fire. It was burned to a crisp." My little Mark, my 7-pound baby, now has 2 daughters and 3 grandkids. And I love my grandkids, love them all.
Anything else you want to say before we end?
I love the 2 of you with all my heart and soul.
Thanks.
Thank
You want tea?
you.
Coffee?